All right, we are back again doing a recap of Georgia versus Kentucky. A little bit of a preview of the upcoming week, I guess. But in the immortal words of Brian Kelly, here we are again talking about the same thing like last year. Georgia, we all know, struggled, won 13-12, a win's a win. But there's a lot of panic in the fan base. National media pundits who had Georgia to go into the national championship say, "Oh, well, now their path is looking a lot more difficult." So let's get into the game. So go ahead and open up with your first thoughts.
This is an exact example of why I do not gamble on college football or any other sport. I'm embarrassed to say what I think I said 31-3 is my final score, something preposterous now with hindsight, looking back. Yeah, that's the reason you cannot tell, man. And from week to week, they got embarrassed. Kentucky did a week ago against South Carolina. Defensive front was much bigger, and I think honestly, I think Georgia got out coached, if you want to be honest. And I think the fact that Kentucky came out, hit Georgia in the mouth, and sustained that over a long period of the game, I think shocked Georgia, to be honest with you. But my other takeaway is panic is not the word. Concern for sure, because take Tennessee Tech out of it. That was nothing but a glorified scrimmage, right?
Right.
We played 8 quarters of football, and how many good offensive quarters have we had? 2.5?
Yeah.
2.5.
Yeah.
2 quarters of football for an offense that was supposed to be, the best Georgia offense in a long, long time. So, yeah, I'm concerned. And now we got injuries with Tate Ratledge along with the offensive line. We're subbing in and out. I don't think we've gelled there at all. So, yeah, I'm concerned that we are – one of the things that built Georgia football is offensive and defensive lines. And we're thin as hell on the defensive line as well. Hopefully that changes to some extent.
That should change next week.
So, anyway, that's my opening take of it.
Well, look, there are a lot of negatives, but I'm going to try not to focus on those. I'm gonna spin it a little positive and just be as logical as I can be with this. I think there's a couple things that were baked into this. All right, and I told, by the way, did I not call it? I said it was going to be a Kirby Smart special.
Well, you did say that, but then I think, what was your final prediction score?
24-3. I thought it'd be we'll talk about it. I think Kentucky's back was against the wall. And if you go back and you watch the South Carolina game, South Carolina, I saw a stat, they blitzed 80 or 90% of the time on defense. South Carolina did. If you look, Kentucky wasn't giving up many run plays. Passing-wise, South Carolina couldn't do much. It was like big pop plays that South Carolina or Kentucky was giving up. And everything for Kentucky in that game went wrong. So they went back to where they are at. I think Kentucky, now their offense sucks. We can all just be honest. Their offense stinks to high heaven. If it was a little bit more competent, Georgia would have lost that game. If it was more competent, Georgia would have lost. What? Go ahead.
No, I mean, I was impressed with the running back. From the offensive line standpoint, I mean, we were gassed, dude. They were gashing us.
But Tyron Ingram Dawkins played like 60 or 70 snaps.
I realize that, Max.
Right. So I don't think their offense is that great. And honestly, we'll probably look back at the end of the year and see that Kentucky's offense is probably somewhere with, Vanderbilt and Mississippi State and Florida. They're going to be in that basement in the stat wise for offense. Defense, we both said that their defense was pretty good. Their front seven was good. We admitted that. Now, do I think they're better than Clemson? I don't know for sure. I think I'm gonna have to see more, but I don't think they're that better than Clemson. Are they better than Alabama? Maybe. Actually, they might be. So when you get punched and they're at home, you go on the road and you're thinking that you already have this in the bag. Roll the ball out. We're Georgia. They're gonna bend the knee, and we got a bye week, and then we got to lock in to go to Alabama. And this is the biggest game of the year. They're the people that stopped us from winning a third straight national title. Whole reason why Carson Beck came back. So I think, and it's very human to do, to look ahead, even if we have a bye week this week. So I think that started why Georgia looked so bad in the first half. They were stunned. They were shocked. And then also the offensive game plan. I don't care what anyone tells me, but it was so vanilla, so incredibly vanilla that you have to think, unless they're extremely incompetent, which I don't think Mike. We can say a lot of things about Mike Bobo. I don't think Mike Bobo is extremely incompetent. It was so vanilla that you have to think that they're not wanting to show things on tape because they got Alabama, they got Texas, they got Ole Miss, they got Tennessee, which I'm still not sure about Tennessee. But we have all these teams coming down the track, and it doesn't make any sense why you would be that vanilla on the road when you keep saying this is the first game on the road in the SEC. It's going to be hard, blow by blow. It's going to be a knife fight. Well, okay, why was it so vanilla? So that's where I am on that.
No, I agree with you. I I don't want to overreact, and I'm not one of these guys saying Bobo needs to go and Bobo the Bozo, which somebody was
Feinbaum.
Paul Feinbaum show.
Right.
I'm not one of these guys, but gee, many, it did look like our offensive game plan was pretty basic or vanilla, to use your. And then I hate to call out, but I feel a little bit more like I can do it now since NIL. And I'm a big fan of Ernest Green, but man, he wasn't the only one. Offensive line in general, not have a good game, but Ernest Green in particular, man, that was not great. That was not great. I think he was shocked. He looked like he was in quicksand, man. So the offensive line did not have a good showing. And Georgia's offense, really, what we're talking about is based on the premise of us being able to run the football and play action pass. And we were not consistently able to run the ball, in which we weren't in the first half against Clemson either.
Right.
So if you can't do that, Georgia's offense can be shut the fuck down.
Well, here's the other thing that leads me to believe that it's very vanilla. And I know Nate Frazier is kind of dinged up, but he's not like being held back. He only got 3 carries. And he didn't come in until the second half.
That could be a whole lot of reasons, and we don't know what that is. But Kirby, if you can't pick up blitzes and don't know the calls, and you're not going to get into play. So that could be part of it. I don't know. The other thing too, Carson Beck was, to me, more in the first half, and I think it was right off the rip. I think he was skittish, and I think it was because of the pressure. He was getting moved off his spot, which is, by the way, that is the thing that Nick Saban said about Carson Beck, and it's any quarterback. It's not even so much about sacking him. It is, can you move him off this spot and get the rhythm off?
Absolutely.
And if you can do that, you can cause him to be inaccurate. And he had some inaccurate throws against Kentucky. And I'll come back to one other thing, then I'll be quiet. How many explosive plays did we have in that game?
Maybe 2. Maybe.
I don't know what it was, but it was a low number, man. And we are, unlike last year, the other thing with this offense, we're not converting on third downs. We were one of the leaders in the country last year. And this year, first of all, we're third and long a lot.
Well, yeah, that's
We
the
also
first.
don't have Brock Bowers anymore.
Right.
That keeps the chains moving. So we've got some concerns on offense. I'm not panicked, but I am concerned. They're going to have to fix some shit, and they're going to have to find some playmakers.
Well, here's the thing. It's almost, and I said this to you the other day. It's very reminiscent of the start of last season, where the offense got off to like extremely slow starts. It wasn't until the Kentucky game. What was that? Week 4, week 5. It took a while for Georgia to get going. It took forever. It felt like, especially in the first half of the game.
Meat of the schedule starting.
Well, I would assume that this would be the get going time. So that to me, I like. We'll see if it lingers into the Alabama game and then into the Auburn game. Then it's going to be a real concern. Real concern.
Kind of reminds me of the Braves offense. We're basing our judgment off of last year. There's 12 games to go, guys. This ain't last year's offense. We're not.
Well, no, for sure. But, I mean, look, here's the other problem. Like, even if the offensive play calling was vanilla, what was that, the second quarter whenever Jalen Walker caused that fumble?
Yeah, I think.
All right. So we get a fumble. We're on the cusp of the red zone or we're in the red zone. The first play, Kirby always talks about complementary football. And you want to know the difference between Monken and Bobo? Monken would go for the end zone first.
Yes.
Irregardless of what happens.
Sideways, right?
No, we ran it up the fucking middle.
Okay. All right. Well, another creative play call. I knew it was either one or the other.
That's the problem.
I agree with you. I totally agree with you.
And look, people can go, oh, the Mike Bobo's averaging 40 points a game. Well, guess what, guys? The reason why Georgia fans loved Monken so much and bitched about Bobo every single time is because Monken would take those shots. Monken would have his ball.
Had some balls.
You're right. And Mike Bobo's asshole clenches up anytime anything happens. And hey, guess what? Since 2006, every single Mike Bobo offense, and I can point to it, every single one, I want to know the red zone efficiency because I bet you it's hanging around 50%. Good teams that win national championships, their red zone efficiency is 60 to 70% and higher. And we are definitely not there right now. We're just not. That's a problem.
Well, that's the other thing. To me, we've got some weapons down in the red zone. And it is similar to when Coley was the offensive coordinator. Seemingly so far this year, there's nothing easy. When Monken was the offensive coordinator, he could scheme guys open. I don't know what it was. Yeah. It seemed like their chunk yardage was easier to get. Georgia's chunk yardage is just not there. Now, I heard David Pollock's comment, and you can't argue with it. I see a lot of really good players on Georgia's offense, but I don't see great players. Well, that takes time. You become great over time. But
right.
So I'm not there, but I understand where that's coming from. No one, these yards are not coming easily. Even some of the best throws that Carson, now he missed some, but some of his best throws, it's like, gee whiz, that was a tight window. There was nothing open. So is Bobo not scheming guys open? I don't know what it is.
Is the wide receivers not getting enough separation? Because they feel like, but see, here's the thing. Second half, there was separation, and Beck missed. That play to Dylan Bell where he was wide open. He missed. But again, it's the same thing as last year. What's going on with a deep ball Carson Beck? Because medium routes, short routes, medium longish routes, money. Probably one of the best quarterbacks in the country on that. Deep ball wise, but he has a rocket of an arm. So I don't get it. I don't know if it's mechanical scheme. I don't know, but it's a problem.
No, I agree. The fact that we're not getting chunk yardage and hitting big explosive plays, not consistently, but enough times during the game, everything is difficult with this offense so far.
Yeah.
Like I said, you play, okay, Clemson's good defense. Kentucky came to play good defense. The front is good, but G-Money, guys, you're supposed to be the best offense in the country, and we're struggling. You know what I mean? We scored one touchdown, and in the whole game, it's not good.
It's
just
not good, but and I think the thing I know a lot of people are panicking. Well, some people are panicking, and people in the media are like, "Well, Georgia team," which annoys me. But whatever. I know you don't want to really get bogged into that, which I can all day. But Kirby said it at his press conference. This is being recorded on Wednesday. I guess Tuesday. He said all the problems that we have are fixable problems.
Sure.
And if we can fix half of the problems, we're going to be a really good team. We just have to fix those problems. Well, I feel pretty good given the coaching staff and the players and who we have as a head coach that those problems will be fixed.
No, I do too. I believe Georgia will play better, and they'll have better games.
Look, I actually wanted to bring this up. What is playing better to you against Alabama? Is it just winning point blank, or is it putting up 30 points? They kick a field goal to win the game.
You know what it really is, Max, is the same thing I think I saw from Kentucky. I would like to be able to control the line of scrimmage, be able to consistently get first downs, and when we get in the red zone, score and touchdowns, not field goals. That's at a much higher percentage than what we're doing now. Convert third downs, keep it third and short. So those are offensive. Defensive, I would like to see us be able to stop the run a little bit more than we have. I mean, I know it's admirable. Those guys fought like hell because we were thin, and they didn't score. We still haven't given them a touchdown. So there's a lot of stuff to like, but I am concerned that teams how they beat Georgia is exactly the way they beat us last year.
Right.
Just run the ball on us, right?
Well, I think having Michael Williams back, having Jalen Walker on the other side, who's 29? Help me out.
Dave Harris?
Yes. But having him play a little bit more on the edge, having those guys on the edge, huh?
I like him a lot.
I do too. And they started putting him in the inside and putting him in basically a 3-eye or a 4-eye, depending on the formation. And they were able to run on outside. People are wrong. People are wrong, and they don't know football. And I don't know how Chaz Chambliss has become the punching bag of unknowingly Georgia fans who know nothing.
I thought he played well.
I thought he played well.
Yeah, I did too. There's several Georgia players that I thought played well, by the way, that we're all being negative Nancy's, but I think Jalen Walker,
wow.
I think Dirty Dan had a really good game. Now, Dirty Dan's got to come straight through early in the game. I told you that to me, we could have had a safety. Instead of trying to go around that running back coming up to block you, you got to run through that. But nonetheless, I think he had a really good game. I think there's a couple other players that I thought Thorson, the punter,
Thorson had a hell of a game. There were some times where he got us out of bad situations.
Yes, I thought it was huge. Those are in a tight ball game. Our special teams and the punter specifically, you don't realize how important that stuff is, but that's huge. So there was some really good. Oh, and Tyreek or whatever.
Ingram Dawkins.
Yes, I thought he had probably the best game he's ever had at Georgia, and we saw that potential a couple of years ago in the spring game, but he's been hurt and a lot of different other things. But I like the way he plays, man.
Well, here's I thought Julian Humphrey played good.
Yes, he did.
I thought Dalen Everett played good.
He had some physical tackles, man.
Here I am. I'm omitting Dalen Everett. He's improved.
He will hit you, man, and they're formed tackles too. That's the reason.
Yes.
Aguero
had a good game. Bolden, the secondary had a great game, which is what was perceived to be the weakness. That's why I'm not really worried when we go play Texas. I'm not that scared of Texas. But anyway, the other person that had a good game, or didn't have a good game, was Smile Munden. Got sucked in way too much, and that's why we couldn't contain very well.
No, I agree. And we had, the other part of that is just being so thin, dude. By the time we got in the fourth quarter, or like you said, they were 60-plus snaps in. We were playing a lot of guys, and you saw Kirby getting on to what's the guy? Ojana, I don't know what his name is.
99.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Joseph
Yeah.
But these are all valuable reps, right?
Those
are important reps because these are guys that you think later in the year might be able to play 15 or 20 meaningful reps, and have an impact perhaps.
For sure. So I heard kind of off the beaten path of this game because I think a lot of people are overreacting to this game and not taking it kind of at face value of what the actual game is. I heard Cole Kublik on Pardon My Take. And basically he said Georgia is going to have a more difficult time getting into the playoff because of their schedule and the way they look. Which I don't understand it. I really don't. Because here's the thing.
I don't. How does Cole Kublik know what the playoff committee is looking at and valuing? Because I could take that same argument and go, well, Jesus, if they're playing what Clemson was ranked what at the time,
right, 14 or something.
Yeah, and we're going to play Texas. We're going to play Alabama. We're going to play Ole Miss, Tennessee.
Overrated.
Well, regardless, it doesn't matter. They're rated. So
sure.
At a certain point, and we're playing in the tough, I think everybody would say you're playing in the toughest conference. You go to that to me and you're, I don't know, what, 10-2?
I don't think here. I still haven't moved up. I think if at worst Georgia loses one game, and right now, oh, by the way, we forgot Ole Miss. Right now,
I just said.
Oh, okay, I did. Right now, as we're sitting here, the only team that I'm like, I can see this could be a really bad matchup right now, is Texas.
Well, I still, I think before the season, I said it wouldn't surprise me if Georgia loses 2 games. I think we can roll the tape back, and I kind of predicted that. And I still think they could lose 2 games, and that's completely fine. As long as we make it in.
It's not going to feel fine.
Huh?
It's not going to feel fine.
No, we all know how I take losses. I curl up in the fetal position for a week and don't listen. I don't turn on my TV or radio or anything else because I don't want to hear it. But anyway, no, I could see that Georgia, it's a long year. You got a pretty young team. You got to figure out who this offense is. I will tell you, I'm concerned on the offensive and defensive line. If we can't play better than what we played on the offensive line on Kentucky, and if we can't get more depth on the defensive line, it's going to be. I think we could be having for Georgia, and I'm not saying it, but I think we could be looking at a disappointing year.
Jordan Hall is going to be back, right?
I mean, yeah, at some point, I would think. I don't know when. Kirby's not saying that.
Who else?
Brinson. Michael Williams.
Michael's back.
Roderick, we got to get Roderick Robinson back. That'll mean a lot too.
I think, surely to God, he should be back by now, right? For the Alabama game?
I don't know. By the way, again, hate to single guys out, but this Yorsick guy, the tight end.
Oh, we're good. We're done. This is the anti-Yurcik podcast. Don't care. We're done.
Yeah. Yeah. With the tight ends did not have it. I mean, they did not have a good game.
No. Well, let's talk about Yurcik because I'm fully on the hate train.
But you said we were done.
No, well, we're done, but I want to just emphasize the fact that we're actually really done. When there's a swing pass, a screen, whatever you want to call it, an extension of the run game, as Kirby would call it, and you whiff on a block, and in the middle of the play, you clap your hands like, damn, I fucked up. You are done, man. You don't play anymore. And he played one more and he fucked up again. He should not play. I don't care how old he is or what he does. He should never play again. He is stunk.
Well, yeah, and the other time that I remember was he jumped off sides on a pretty critical play. It was a short,
Clemson.
Yeah, against Clemson. So his start at Georgia has not been real stellar. He looks like he's playing in a different gear, like he's tentative. He doesn't know the playbook. I don't know. I don't know what
Pac-12 going through the Pac-12 to the SEC.
He's a liability at this point. The game's moved. We're moving past your speed.
I hate it for him, but I'm glad he's helping our GPA out, and he's probably a great citizen. But outside of that, he should not play ever again. Jaden Rydell needs as much time to play as Yurcik does. I don't know what the hell we're doing over there. It's just gone.
We need a little bit more from the tight end room in general. I mean,
yeah, I would agree with that.
But we need more. There were some opportunities out on the out. I mean, there were some outside blocks. I remember one. Dylan Bell had a really good block on the outside. And in the run game, we gotta have better blocking on the outside too, man. It was just the whole effort. And you got to give Kentucky credit, but the whole effort was subpar. And if you cannot run the ball with Mike Bobo's offense and Georgia's offense, our offense is going to look like exactly what it looked like. So we got to be able to run the ball, and I'm concerned right now.
I mean, we'll see. I think you're going to see a better Georgia team next Saturday. I would only hope. And you know what? I just want to see improvement, and I just want to see them. I know this sounds really weird, but I just want to see them look competitive and at least look competent because they did not look competent, and they really haven't put a full game together.
No.
So if they'll put a full game together, I'd feel really good about our chances against Alabama. And honestly, Alabama, I know you're not supposed to take the best game from a team and then take the worst game and try to figure it out. Alabama, but I saw what they look like against USF. I saw what they look like against Wisconsin. Saw what they look like the first game of the year. I don't know, man. It just doesn't scare me. Maybe I'm wrong because I said this last year.
They're a good team.
They're good, but they're not like Tua and Mac Jones and Jalen Hurts. Those teams, they don't scare me.
I agree with that. Here's the thing I would say. Georgia playing a really good game, not a great game, a really good game, and Alabama playing a really good game, Georgia should win.
Yeah.
So the question is, which one? That usually does not happen. So which one of those are not going to be playing the type of game? I don't know. I don't know what the answer is to that. That's the difference, because to me, they match up athletically. There's not a whole lot of difference between the two teams. I think Alabama can match. Coaching wise, I think I'll take our coaching staff over Alabama's coaching staff. Them being at home, slight advantage. It's going to be but I expect a dogfight because Alabama's a good team.
Yeah, and they're not going to let someone just come in and bully them around at home. They're Alabama. But, again, I think we're a little hesitant because of the logo and not who they actually are. But I will say this. I'll give a little inside scoop from people that inside sources very close to the program, some that are injured right now. It might be out till, the Florida game. Anyway, that source has said that they've been working on Alabama for quite some time, i.e., prior to the Clemson game. They worked on Alabama before they worked on Clemson. So that tells you how much this game means and what I expect.
Well, that's the other thing that you were saying. This could be perfect for Kirby. Do you see how happy he was in the press conferences? Because he can take, the fact that Kentucky gave him a close game and leverage that to get everybody's attention and get everybody bought in, right?
Oh, of course. Well, look, it was a Kirby Smart special. It smelt like one. It stunk like one. It looked like one. It was a Kirby Smart special.
Seen that meme of Denzel?
Yeah.
We're playing chess, bitch, not checkers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is it from the very beginning. That whole after the Tennessee Tech game, whenever Kirby's like, "Oh, we got a tough opponent," I was like, "My ears are up. I know what's going on here. You can't trick me this time. I've fallen for it too many times. I'm not falling for it."
I hope you're right.
He does it all the time. He does it. He has done it since 2017. Tough opponent coming up. They're a really good team. Don't look at what they did last week. This is a good team, guys. Okay, Kirby. We know exactly what you're doing. I'm not playing into it. I refuse to.
Well, I just don't have as much confidence that he can know the outcomes that and be that confident. But
I don't think he knows the outcomes, but he definitely knows what they're going to do.
Okay.
I'm just telling you. All right. Let's take a look at the college football slate come Saturday. Big game, actually, for Georgia fans to pay attention to. Clemson, NC State. We'll kind of know where Georgia stands with Clemson. I'm pulling for Clemson. They should win that game. I don't think NC State's that great. Right now, Clemson's a 20-point favorite. Makes sense. Got a pick on that or no?
No, I don't really. Where are they playing?
At Clemson.
And didn't NC State get beat by somebody that were supposed to be a competitive game? And
their first game of the year, they had a struggle win.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for what it's worth, I'll take Clemson.
Right. And hey, by the way, Tennessee fans, if you are watching this, because I do know y'all do watch this, lower down the temperature of expectations, guys. Like, you played NC State. Outside of that, you played Kent State and whoever. You haven't played anybody yet. So shut up. Michigan, USC. I fully expect USC to go in there, just pummel Michigan. I don't think Michigan's any good. Tech and Louisville play at the same time. I will pull for Louisville. I don't think they're going to win, but who knows?
That's a who cares. That sounds awful to me.
Utah and Oklahoma State. That's a decent game. Missouri, Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt, look, they had a disappointing game against Georgia State. Del McGee obviously knows Vanderbilt very well. Not a total surprise. Vandy, I think, could give a game to Missouri. Missouri's a 20-point favorite. I'm going to take the Commodores.
I'll take Missouri. I'm a believer in Missouri. They're going to make the playoffs.
I don't think so. Okay, and then the biggest game of the week is Tennessee, Oklahoma. To me, Tennessee's a 7-point favorite at Oklahoma. I know there's a lot of history with Heupel getting fired and winning the national championship for Oklahoma when he was the quarterback. Oklahoma hasn't looked that impressive. Tennessee's put up 20 million points. I think Tennessee's going to look like Tennessee, and I think Oklahoma might actually put a scare in Oklahoma. Or Oklahoma put a scare in Tennessee. Jeez. I just.
Who do you think wins? Who are you taking?
For pure joy, I would take Oklahoma.
I'll take Tennessee.
I think you're probably going to see Tennessee win, but we don't know who Tennessee is, and the media and the Tennessee, of course, they're celebrating like they're about to win the SEC championship and win the
We
national
do it every
title.
year, Max. It doesn't matter.
I
Not
know, but it just aggravates me. It just aggravates the hell out of me.
Yeah, well, you can't expect people. You can't be disappointed if you know who somebody is, and we know who Tennessee fans and their program. We know how the media fawns over them because of the offense. We can't, and then they wilt every single year. Now, until they don't, that's my belief. We'll see if they're any different. And everybody falling in love with that quarter. None of this is surprising. It doesn't matter. Let's just play the games.
Okay, I'm just telling you, it's really getting on my last nerve here, and it pisses me off because I don't think Tennessee's that great. And Texas hasn't played anybody either, so everyone just needs to shut the fuck up for like 10 seconds and let the season play out a little bit before we start proclaiming teams to be the national title.
As you and I have talked about, and I think I've said it on this show, to me, we shouldn't be at preseason rankings and any poll before like October, into October-ish in college football means nothing to me. It means nothing to me, and it shouldn't weigh in on anybody's, you know what I mean? Like Notre Dame, you can always bet on it. They're going to be overranked. Florida State, if they got any inkling of being a halfway, they're going to be overranked. That's just the way it is.
And then Michigan, Michigan was overranked for no reason.
Yes. That's just the way it's going to be. And we can get pissed, but eventually smart people all sitting in the same room looking at the same data is going to say, well, maybe we shouldn't be doing this way. But that's my hope. But it's all about money and ratings and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I don't get hyperbolic about ratings and what how.
Well, I also don't understand. It's like, oh, Georgia's not number one anymore. First of all, who cares? But why should Georgia get dinged whenever? Again, Texas has played nobody. I just don't.
Well, I sent you a text. I'm like, number one, my ass. I don't give a shit, but I don't want us smelling ourselves. That was not. If we're going to talk about the Georgia standard, we play to a certain standard. Well, that either means something or it doesn't, and they didn't play to it. So, we have an expectation, and I think they have an expectation, and shit happens. They got players too, but they're going to have to start playing fucking better because that was not meeting the Georgia standard. Bottom line.
No, it was not, and that to me is the entire encapsulation of this game. Georgia didn't play up to his standard. It had a clunker. We have one or two of these a year. It just happens. I don't know what reason. I think I do, but I'm not going to obviously come out and say that totally because I'm not 100% confident in it. But it just is what it is, and we'll see what happens. To me, there's no excuse for us to lose to Alabama. There's just none.
I agree with you. I think we're better.
It's just at the point where it's going to end up like Mark Richt and Florida. If you can't beat Alabama, what are we doing?
Yeah.
It's getting tiring. Even though we beat them in the national championship, we were both there. It was great, lovely. I'm tired of it. And
we need to, if we're going to be the standard of college football, now's the time we make a fucking statement. We either shut the fuck up. We are, to use Kirby's words, you're either elite or you're not. Right?
Right.
Now you got another opportunity. You got another at bat. Don't fucking strike out and go back to the bench.
Yeah.
We've done too often.
To me, if we don't beat Alabama until the playoff and if we get in and the playoff run, whatever, this season will be a lost cause if we don't beat Alabama.
Right.
So that's where I'm at.
No, I agree. I think this is a statement game for the program. I believe that.
Totally. And here's the thing. Georgia really hasn't been good in those situations. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. But all right. Obviously, we'll come back next week. We'll do a breakdown of the Alabama-Georgia game. I'm still upbeat. I'm positive. I mean, the sky over Athens is cloudy right now, but it's blue skies for me. I feel pretty good. I'm sure you do too, right?
Nah, I don't
Partly
think
cloudy.
I don't think mine are blue skies. It's partly cloudy over here. I got to see a little bit more out of the offensive line, and I gotta know that we got more depth on the defensive line. Then my skies will part, I'm sure.
Well, I feel fine. So just ask me though about first quarter against Alabama. Then it'll just be thunder and lightning. It'll be a really bad storm. All right. So subscribe to the YouTube page. We appreciate it. We've got 2 more subscribers. So thanks, guys. Whoever you subscribed, we love you. Mwah. So make sure to subscribe, like, comment, tell us why we're wrong, tell us why we're right. Who cares? Just comment. We'll engage back. Also, follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter, or X. X is something else right now. But follow us on X at Terminus Sports _ATL on all the social platforms. And then our presenting sponsor, our great sponsor, Unishippers. Give us a pitch.
We help companies that ship anywhere around $50,000 to $100,000 a year on their shipping, whether that's be small pack with FedEx or UPS, or your less than truckload. So if you are interested in getting your costs reduced, feel free to reach out to we'll do Patrick Lampasi at Unishippers Atlanta.
Shout out to Patrick. Shout out to Unishippers Atlanta. All right. We'll see you on the other side.
See ya.